On this edition of Wi-Fi Sheep, we talk Saga Spartan, Windows 10, a new theme hospital, and something called Black Friday, though I wouldn't really know anything about that. Hello there, thanks for joining us. This is Wi-Fi Sheep. It's a show all about computers, gaming, making, coding and anything and everything in between. My name is Tom Williamson, sitting over there somewhere. Hello, can I? I can see her. It's Anna Fellows. Anna, hello, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Are you alright?
Yes, I'm fine.
Busy week?
Yes.
Just a bit?
Yes.
Now, it's Friday. It's Friday the 24th. Of November, thank you.
2017.
2017, I've literally just said that. And yeah. And somewhere in the world, it's Black Friday.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about this later on, but just to kind of summarise, I really don't care.
Neither do
I'm just like...
It's,
Do you know what I mean? I'm just... woke up this morning, my email box just like...
I had
littered,
that, and I had like
littered
20
with them.
some odd emails. It's Black Friday. I'm like, I don't care.
And half of them are American anyway, so I can't do anything even if I wanted to. So I'm just like, you know.
I know.
Yeah. Oh well. Lots coming up on the show. If you want to get in touch with us, the best way is probably to Twitter. Now, new Twitter, you could, instead of talking to me or her directly, and I don't blame you for not wanting to do that. We now have a direct official Twitter feed. It's at Wi-Fi Sheep. It's at Wi-Fi Sheep on Twitter. You can, of course, get in touch with us on Facebook. And don't forget to Patreon support as well. Do all that via the official website. It's www.ident-online.co.uk/Wi-Fi Sheep. So, Anna, before we get on with our main headline topics for today's show, we have a bit of a, I would say breaking news, although it's been knocking around for about a week or so now, but we've only just sort of picked up on it, which is concerning loot boxes, DLC content
For, obviously, in games.
For video gaming, now considered gambling here in the UK.
Well, I've had a look. They're having a look at it.
Oh, it hasn't actually gone through?
It hasn't actually gone through.
I stand corrected.
The Australian, Belgian, USA and the UK all want to make it a form of gambling.
Now, should we just explain the context of why this is considered gambling and what a loot box or DLC actually is?
There's a handful of games, obviously the main ones at precise moment, like the new Star Wars Battlefront 2, Overwatch, the Call of Duty World War 2, and it's where you've already fucked out for the game. You've paid your 40, 50 quid for the game. You're playing it. Then you get other extra downloadable content for the game. And one of them, at precise moment, which I had looked upon, was Overwatch. Now, you've already paid, your nice lump of sum for the money. And you can get these mystery boxes. Now, these mystery boxes start from £1.79 to £34.99, so you're paying just as much for a mystery box.
Okay, right, hang on.
As for the game.
So let me just understand this then from the total layman's term. For people who are not perhaps familiar with this, you buy a AAA rate title for an Xbox, a PlayStation, a PC, whatever. So we're talking modern current gaming. That costs anywhere between 35 to 50 quid normally. Okay. You then have power-ups or add-ons or things,
or additional
items in the game, depending what the game is. But those aren't free.
No. It's, for example, like you've bought something, like you bought the game, and say in the game you go to somebody and they say, oh, by the way, I've got 5 mystery boxes here. They could contain, say the first one, maybe one rare item and a couple of items which like potions or whatever.
So this is the digital equivalent of those lucky dip bags you used to get out the newsagents.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
So you don't know, and you're not physically getting anything of any monetary value.
No.
It's just, I mean, in layman's terms, it's just a load of vectors and pixels that make the game behave slightly differently for you.
It's, as I found it quite interesting in Twitch, someone called it a microtransaction lucky dip, which is all it is, really.
So it's not like you're saying, I want to buy. I mean, do we have any examples here of any items? Or I've heard rumours of things like special shoot 'em up games, gun skins or custom ammo or...
Yeah, it'll be sort of
I mean, it's
items. There'll probably be... I don't really do, that sort of thing, but it's items which... So they might be like... They might have an avatar who has a special weapon or special armor and be like, but you could win these if you pay £10 for this box. So people, ooh, well, that's really strong armor than my character's currently wearing. So I'll get that box, but it doesn't guarantee you're going to get it.
It just seems extraordinary that people are willing to spend real money on...
You get more in a Kinder Egg.
Okay, I mean, have you ever bought DLC content? I have, but
I have, yes, but I've actually... It's what it said it was I have received. I haven't gone for one of these lucky box type things.
See, the last DLC I can remember buying, and this is stuff I bought as addition to a game I've already paid for, was some of the add-on packs for F1 2013. This was back on the 360.
But where it said you'd be getting these cars, these tracks, did you actually get them?
Yes.
Yeah.
I bought some classic Formula 1 retro cars, and I got those cars. I forget how much I spent. It was about £12 something. It wasn't cheap. To be honest with you, I was a little bit disappointed. It wasn't. I mean, but the thing is, it wasn't a gamble. It was. I knew what I was buying. But the idea of spending 3-4 times that on stuff that you have no idea what you're getting, and it could just be a sort of a new texture map that changes the colour of your sprite or avatar playing character for like 40 quid seems utterly ridiculous.
Well, they've contacted the PEGI and the Entertainment Software Rating Board.
Now, those are the UK or European regulators.
The
now,
ESRB is the one from America.
It's the American one,
They've contacted them, and they've basically turned around and said, well, yeah, okay, you might not be getting what you specifically asked, or I wanted that, but you're getting something.
Yes.
So, I don't know,
it just seems absurd.
Well, that was the ESRB, but PEGI have said, well, it's not gambling from a legal point of view, so to put any sort of gambling or anything like that onto the rating system would make it confusing.
I think, to be honest, I think the whole thing is confusing enough.
Though,
as it is.
In this one article I flicked through, I went to the bottom and someone said, well, why can't they add on the bottom, then make a new rating for it, putting like Loot Crate or DLC, which specifically, if you look at the, the coding, saying that you can buy stuff for simulated gambling, but I don't know, is it...
But that's the difference between simulated gambling and physically pot luck.
Yeah, so, well...
And the thing is, if it's called gambling, and you're already entering that contract knowing it's gambling, that's different to this kind of strange lottery type. I mean, the thing is, lotteries are heavily regulated here in the UK, so you can't just run...
No.
I mean, I know there's regulation in the US, but I think they have like state lotteries, and there's lots of micro lotteries that happen in the US. Here, it's literally just one or two nationally that are regulated. So gambling is heavily regulated here. So
you also get the same things. Is this also going to not just affect games you have bought, but is this also going to affect app-based items on your phone?
Well, I imagine if it's now,
because that's different.
Well, in a sense, the app thing is. That's different because if you're talking about in-app purchases, so games to unlock more content or buy your way up levels, you're paying money and you know you're getting that content, or you'll know it would be different if you had an app and it was potluck between getting that extra house in the game or jumping 5 levels.
I hate those ones.
If you didn't know what you were going to get, that's gambling, surely, under these rules.
Well, some of them you can get like lucky boxes.
But do you pay for them?
Yes.
But I have a feeling that's going to be
so.
And
is this going to take everything into concept? So I don't know.
I just find it astonishing. I'm struggling to cope with why you do this. Or are we now just in that generation that we're just like, we don't get this? We grew up with the sort of cartridge-based media, or the CDs of a PS1, and we're kind of like,
or is it
what?
Someone then in an article via Eurogame I just read saying that, is it now the law struggling to keep up with technology?
To be honest with you, the law has always struggled
everywhere
to keep up with technology. I mean, the whole copyright law, especially here in the UK, is a complete mess. I mean, I'll give you a good example. Don't quote me on the dates here, 'cause it might be wrong, but I think it was illegal to record broadcast television programs, so off telly, right up until I think it was 91 or something.
Oh, right.
It was technically illegal. Then the home, I forget what the act was, it was like the Home Recordings Act or something came in. It allowed you to make domestic television recordings for your own personal use. Up to then, it was completely illegal to record and hold recordings of broadcast television in this country, despite the fact we had VHS recorders since the 70s. So the UK is particularly just like
not with it.
Let's be honest with you. I could well imagine the US is probably in the same sort of boat in many cases, but there we go.
I know.
So if you want to tell us what you think about this, because we really don't know what to make of it.
Well, if I'd bought a game, this is my point of view. If I bought a game, to be honest, any sort of game, regardless of how much I paid for it, I hate it when other things come out, especially if you're playing online or you can't afford it, and all of a sudden, because someone's decided to pay an extra 20 quid to get a bit of extra armour or something which helps them along, I think it's probably more annoying for those players who do want to play the game more traditionally, where they get through without this added content which you just lump out for.
Yeah. Now, is it the case that you can win the content legitimately in the game, or is it the fact the game can't be completed unless you pay more money? That's a big question.
Yeah.
I think we'll have to leave that one there until things become a little bit more clear about what's going on. If you've got any thoughts on that, you can drop us a line on Twitter. Our personal Twitter address is, mine is @TomW_ident, Anna's is @SapphireWolf16. Alternatively, drop the channel a line on @Wi-Fi Sheep. Alternatively, find us on Facebook. You can search Wi-Fi Sheep, or go to our website www.ident-online.co.uk/Wi-Fi Sheep. Anna, if I said the words to you, Saga Spartan, would that mean anything?
Not really, no.
Right. Are you ready for another?
Sega, yes. Really old consoles, what? 70s, 80s?
Oh no, 80s, 90s.
Dusty,
Very popular here in Europe.
Well, I've not.
In the height, Sega was more popular than Nintendo. In the height, Sega was more popular than Nintendo.
Okay.
Here in the UK, so there was much more Sonic fans than there were Mario.
Right. I don't like either, so.
No. You're going to enjoy this topic then.
Yes.
So, Saga Spartan. Technically speaking, this is supposedly a proposed new console. Don't you love the word proposed new console, especially in this day and age?
What, so we thought of something and it hasn't come out yet? Or not even a thing yet?
It's not even a thing at the moment, but just hear me out, right?
Okay.
I think we need to give this a fair hearing. I have to admit, I've got trepidations from all these other kind of vaporware type things, and of course the fiasco from about 2 years ago that we're not going to talk about, that went around the world concerning a certain Jaguar shell, but
yeah. And people underneath a bus.
Underneath buses, yeah, but it's probably not fair to taint this with the same brush. So we'll give this an open mind. It's an interesting idea. Saga Spartan. It's a proposed new current gen gaming system, which is it's an independent project from what I can gather, being crowdfunded. And then the makers want to go to Sega to see if they'll actually put their stamp on it.
So hold on, they want to build a console.
They want to build a new Sega console without...
Then go to Sega and be like, will you put your name on this?
That's more or less how this works. Yeah.
Right.
And possibly license some Sega properties. So it's not Sega, the company, building a new console to come back into the market.
Okay.
It's a freelance independent crowdfund project, hoping to get the backing.
Right.
I've got the website. The website and the presentation, to be fair, is rather good. I've got the tech specs for you. 4 gigabyte GeForce GTX GPU, that's the graphics card. 1 terabyte hard drive storage. 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. So that's the spec, and it'll be PC, probably ARM chip. No, not ARM chip, AMD x86 architecture based. So basically, it's the same chipsets that Xbox One and PS4 use.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a PC in a box. That is that's the technical spec that would run modern gaming. You could do that. I mean, that's up there. Maybe not with Project Scorpios or the Pro Plus version or whatever it's called, the PS4, but that's up there.
Yeah.
And it's not impossible to get that sort of stuff relatively cheaply now, because obviously the price of technology falling. I'll just have a look I'm on their website to look at news and progress.
That we're still trying to beg Sega.
There's one here from October the 22nd, 2017. While the next major update comes out, here's something to tantalise you for a bit. There's been quite a few people claiming this project is fake because we don't have a prototype. Well, folks, take a look at the Spartan in its physical glory. Below are pictures of the console prototype.
Okay.
Okay, I'll just click continue reading. Okay. Well, it is a prototype, I'll give them that.
Yeah.
Are you looking at this at the moment as well?
I am, yes.
Right, have you got those pictures up?
Yep.
That looks a little bit 3D printed.
It really does, doesn't it?
Which is fine if it's
just a
prototype.
Yeah.
I mean, they're trying to sort of... I mean, yeah, obviously you're going to get loads and loads of people are going to be like... A minute anyone comes out with a Kickstarter game console project, you're going to get like 1,000,001 people going, oh, well, that's fake, that's this, that's that, you know, and what have you. Yeah, I don't know what to make about this, in all honesty. I don't want to taint it with a brush and just be like overly negative.
Yeah.
It just seems... I don't know what the market's like for this at the moment. There's a lot of bad blood and dodgy projects that have come out, and I mean, I wouldn't want to try and Kickstarter a hardware project, especially in gaming at the moment. I don't know about you, but...
Well, the main question someone added here. So, what if it's not accepted by Sega? They just put, yeah, we'll have to go for alternative plans. Yeah.
I'm slightly lost for words, actually. USB 3 ports, USB Type C, Thunderbolt. That's the sort of one the iPhone used or did use. HDMI out, display port, whatever that's going to be, might be a VGA or something. Ethernet for network internet connectivity. It reminds me a little bit of the Atari box. Did you know about that one?
No.
a Kickstarter, but this is slightly different. It's led by whoever owns the property rights to Atari. Bearing in mind, Atari is just a brand; it's just a shell of a company now. And they're launching a new console running AMD PC architecture.
Yep.
But it's not trying to compete with the current gen systems, and it will run licensed retro gaming. And it is actually officially Atari led, but they're having to kickstart it.
Okay.
And it looks nice. They've kind of mocked up the 2600, which was the wooden cabinet type console from the 70s.
Okay.
So, but it has like a sort of slightly modern twist to it. So that one looks quite nice. But again, it's all a bit kind of, well, you're Atari. Surely you could have just got the funding to put think of all those flashback Atari consoles. I know they're not made by Atari, but it's not too difficult for a Chinese manufacturer to knock out several million or several 100,000, 50 games in a box type system. So, again, I'm just a bit like, especially with the Atari unit, was there really be a place for it?
Yeah.
I mean, just going back to the Spartan here, it's going to be a tough market. You've got 3 big players: Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo.
Yeah. I think maybe for people who remember these consoles, then but like myself, I was born in the 90s. I don't remember this. It was PlayStation, Xbox. Like you said, those are the big players now. And is there any room for these consoles? Because,
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about you'd be about 8 years old when Sega pulled out the console market. So, very young. And, of course, if you weren't surrounded by these sort of things, your first experiences, were PS1 and N64, which is about right for the age. So, yeah, if you don't have any like direct links back to that, then you're right. You're kind of like, who's the market here?
Especially as Nintendo obviously are moving on away from the 3DS and going more towards a Switch.
The Switch. What a brilliant name for a Chinese knockoff. The Switch. I like that.
Going towards the Switch, where even the PlayStation controller has like a touchpad type system on it.
Yeah.
So are we moving away from the more traditional based consoles? They're going to have more touchpad features and screens and things on it. So is there any place for a traditional type?
Well, that will be the big question of what happens after the Scorpio and the PS4 Plus or Pro. Is it the Plus or is it the Pro?
I think it's a Pro.
Pro, right. Yeah.
The new one.
The new one. Whatever happens post those, the next gen after these will be kind of, if everyone's suddenly doing either making tablet computers, or if it's sort of like, right, you can have the game and the architecture, but you've got to buy a PC and run it on that. This idea that we'll all go back to the gaming PC and also, I don't know, and I don't want to predict that one because the market could be a funny place. I think Nintendo has shown that it can do something different and it can be a success.
Yeah.
Even if, like when we talked about last week, we're still not sold on the Switch, but so it's an interesting idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we will watch this one. I don't know. Part of me is like, I don't know. I might be interested. We'll see what it does.
Yeah.
But I think that's all we can say for now. So you got a thought on that? Again, drop us a line. The best place to do that is on Twitter at Wi-Fi Sheep. That's at Wi-Fi Sheep. You're listening to Wi-Fi Sheep. It's a show all about making, building, coding, gaming, and anything and everything in between. My name is Tom Williamson. The person over there in front of me is Anna Fellows.
Yes.
Very elegant.
Yes.
As ever.
Yep.
I'm sounding patronised. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Right. Anna.
Yes.
Windows 10.
Yes.
And also no.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of Windows 10 in front of you there.
Yep.
Bit of an interesting story. It came out, it's a good 2-3 weeks ago, but no one really covered it. So I kind of picked it up and thought, we'll have a look at that. It came from extremetech.com, and they had it on their website. The idea of Windows 10 ARM edition, and I'll need to explain what that is and why that's different. being able to run x86 apps. Okay, let me explain this in layman's terms.
Yes.
Okay. Your laptop there, your PC, whether it's an Intel or a AMD chip, runs an architecture mostly known as x86. Okay. There is like x64 or x86 64, which is sort of this new 64-bit version. But let's just, for argument's sake, say it's x86. Yeah. And that dates right back to kind of the very early PCs. It's what made PC was that chipset. Okay.
Okay.
So if I write a program for Windows, Windows is, let's say a lot of Windows is written in the C programming language. So you write your C and you have to compile it. Okay, so the compiler takes that code which you've written in a sort of soft English type programming language, and it converts it to instruction set code, especially for the Intel or AMD chips.
Right.
So it's called an instruction set, and it's known as x86, and that's great.
Okay.
So when you open your .exe,
yeah,
most of those will be compiled programs, compiled especially to work with Windows on x86.
Right.
That means you can't take that program and run it on a Motorola processor or an ARM chip, because it won't work. It won't understand what the instruction set is. It won't be compatible. It'd be like taking a sort of a French program and broadcasting it in Italy.
Yes.
Technically, they might not understand each other. You know, it's that kind of logic. And that was fine until Microsoft released the Surface tablet. And the Surface tablets used an ARM processor.
Right.
And so they ran this version of Windows 10 on the ARM tablet. But Windows 10 for Surface is not the same as Windows 10 for PC. Other than it has a very similar look and is called Windows 10, they are actually completely different operating systems.
Right.
You're yawning already. Stay with us, right? So the biggest problem was that you can't run your Windows applications, like your old copy of Excel or something, on a Surface, because it won't run.
Right.
So now what they're saying is, because of sales problems with the Surface tablets, they want these tablets to replace your PC, and they want Windows to be seen as a mobile platform.
Yeah.
So the only way around this is to be able to get Windows 10 on the ARM tablets to run the PC x86 apps. And they're going to try and do this via an emulator built into the ARM version of Windows.
Okay.
So it still won't run it properly. It will pretend to make up a sort of a virtual x86 Intel processor and then trick the software into running, which is basically what emulation is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few issues with that. That could be quite resource hungry. And you're going from an ARM chip, which is a RISC-reduced instruction set chip, to a CISC chip, complex instruction set, which is what an x86 Intel processor is. So there's going to be some lag and time delay. And also, if you're running battery-based systems, precisely, because the RISC chip will have to run 3 or 4 times as fast in order to catch up and do the processes, unless they very cleverly engineer it. But I'm just a bit like, it seems a bit of a weird one. Why not just recompile the software? But
I don't know.
You know, got any thoughts on that?
No.
Do you care about that?
Did I barely understand it? Yes. You're just alone on that one. You were just saying ARM chips, this chip, that chip. I'm like, McCain's.
I thought I explained this rather well.
Okay.
But obviously not. Shall we move on?
Let's move on.
Anna, have you ever played Theme Hospital?
No. But I played the zoo one.
The zoo one?
They had Theme, it was based in a zoo.
Theme Zoo?
Yeah. Is it zoo?
It's Theme Park World.
I can't.
It was basically a series of games released in the sort of mid-90s, mainly for MS-DOS, from Bullfrog.
Yeah.
And it was Theme Hospital, Theme Park World. No, are you thinking Zoo Tycoon?
Yes, I am.
Right,
Never mind.
that wasn't.
We will scratch that off. Yeah, I just looked at him.
Theme Hospital was a fantastic game, and I did get hold of a copy for PC. Early 2000s when it was kind of really re-released as a budget release. You could go into your electronics boutique, or as it then became rebranded Game, just around that period, and you could actually pick up these like cheap budget PC stuff for like DOS and new releases.
Yeah.
But I love their budget software, so they got rid of it all.
Yeah, I know.
Which was just like, damn.
Because I used to like the section you used to go to and it had like the Game Boys and all that bit.
Yeah.
I mean, sod all the other bits that were like, modern and, people. I wanted to go to the older bits.
Yeah, same here. Anyway, there's going to be a new game based on Theme Hospital. But it's not. Kind of like our last topic about the Spartan. Last topic before that.
So you're telling me we're going to have a game which hasn't been developed yet?
Well, it's kind of like it's in beta,
right?
But it's not from the publisher.
Okay.
And it doesn't have any of the original people on board, I don't think.
Right.
It looks very nice. It's sort of HD, runs on modern PC engines. Might have a console release as well. It's going to be called Project Hospital.
Okay.
It's basically a clone of Theme Hospital.
Okay.
But sort of brought up the modern standards. Because Theme Hospital was quite an old game and it used to crash. Yeah. I don't think anybody had a stable version of it.
I thought you meant the hospital was being brought up to modern standards.
Oh, no. Strictly NHS. But
So we're still behind then.
We're still behind then.
Waiting times, 10 hours. Yay!
But I thought that's quite interesting. But again, I just hope it's not vaporware. It's not someone trying to trade on something without any permission or license to do so. I don't think it's using any of the original source code, any of the original artwork. It is a completely new build. It just looks and behaves like the original game. Quite frankly, I don't know why Electronic Arts, who would now own they bought Bullfrog, and closed the studio like they do with so many things.
Yep.
Why they haven't just gone and done a re-release or rebuild of the game, because it was a great sort of, I suppose you could call it an RPG. It was a sort of simulator role-play strategy type game. You can even get a front-end port for Risk OS, believe it or not. You just have to own the original CD and copy some of the game data off the CD.
Oh, right.
And you can put it onto this front end that will allow the game to run on, again, an ARM system, which is what Risk is. I've never tried it. I've downloaded the front end, just never put the files on. But I just thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know.
The ones, though, it just remembered me, right? When I was about 10, I think. About that sort of age. My mum got her first computer. It was a Time computer.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
That was a British brand of IBM clones, wasn't it? Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it was.
In this box, she got all these games. And one of them was like a Lego Tycoon type game in a theme park.
Okay, yeah.
That, obviously, going on to that was great, that was.
When you were like 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how many years ago it was. But I used to play on that so much, and then just... Did you ever get to the point, even like these theme, hospitals, things like that, you'd ruin the game so much, you literally had to just start again because there was no coming back from it? Or was that just me?
No, maybe when I was younger and didn't really know what I was doing or understood the games, because they were quite complicated games. No, I mean, I remember with Theme Hospital, I used to get really stingy because it ran into an American commercial model, so it was about making money.
Yeah.
And you had to pay for things like heating and
oh my God.
cleaners. And
let me guess, it was cold and really filthy.
And there was puke all over the floor. And then there were rats that used to run around the place, and you could actually try and shoot them yourself by clicking on them. And and then we'd skimp on things like benches for people to sit on, so they just have to stand and queue, and
Oh my God. That sounds as bad as the Lego Tycoon, where I was like, I don't need a garden. I don't need people. Then it becomes so filthy. People would be leaving, and I'm like, right, cleaners. And then like an army, about 50 cleaners were going. No, I can let them all go now.
Yeah, then you sack them all straight after.
Yeah.
Welcome to the recession economy.
Yeah. The place is clean. You can all go now.
Yeah.
Yeah, been there, done that.
Theme Park World, right, which is the slightly later 3D build of theme park, used to create Toilet Land. Which that was my attraction. It was just like a row of stinky toilets that were not cleaned. Or to save money, you could shut down bits of your park.
Yeah.
So I'd close all the toilets to save money, so I didn't have to pay to get them cleaned or serviced. You know.
Wow. Basically, I think we all did the same thing.
What does this say about me as a person? I'm worried now.
Well, I did exactly the same thing. I mean, what? Hiring 50 people to clean up your park for like 10 minutes and then sacking them all once the job's done. Might as well have done 0 hours. You can wait around and I've got a job for you. Wait, a kid's puked, go clean it up. I'll pay you for 5 minutes work.
Or you'd be getting patient and waiting for them to get over there. So you used to be able to get the little you used to pick them up and they'd dangle from the cursor.
Yeah.
And you just drop them on top of the pile of sick or something. He's like, right, clean up. Clean up. Yeah.
There's I think in the Lego one as well, you could highlight people, so you could take a bunch. So you just like, you like 20, bump over there. Hope none of you die.
And you used to get ratings for how good the staff were. The theme games you did, and it used to be cheaper to hire the bone idle, useless staff than it was to hire the skilled people, especially Theme Park World and Theme Hospital. So, you'd hire medically incompetent doctors that were dangerous, or cleaners that didn't give a toss about anything. And it's just like, so cheap staff that you didn't...
You sure you're not currently running the economy now as it is?
I feel like it. I could be quite... We just had the budget, didn't we? I could be the Chancellor, couldn't I?
Yes.
I mean, let's be honest, what they came out with was not too dissimilar to that, so,
It really wasn't.
Let's not get into politics.
No. But anyway.
There should be an alarm that goes off whenever someone starts talking.
Ding!
Yeah, politics, Step away from the conversation.
Yes. Big alarms go off, Klaxons.
We better move on to the next topic. Right. This one is an exciting red herring false alarm, but wouldn't it be great? Nintendo 64 Classic Edition. It has been rumoured that with the NES Classic, the SNES Classic, that an N64 Classic kind of has to happen.
Yeah.
And there's been all sorts of rumours, including Nintendo registering Nintendo 64 Classic as a trademark and all sorts. Then, the other week, the possible lineup of games leaked. Well, I say leaked, and I'm just now, while we're on air, going to have to just do a quick N64 Classic Edition lineup. Because I didn't bookmark this before we started. Classic Edition lineup. The games leaked, apparently, or supposedly what the games were going to be. And there's been all sorts of... I can't find the article now. Basically, the game list leaked because Nintendo put some manuals up on the UK Nintendo.co.uk website.
Yeah.
And then people thought, oh, hang on a minute, are these the manuals for the games? Is this the lineup? And to be completely fair, I think I have found the article. I think it's a Forbes article.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Well, they're not letting me in now because I've got the ad blocker on.
Yeah, it does this to me all the while.
Right, here they are. Right.
Meow.
So, this is from Forbes.com. Potentially leaked N64 classic game list is actually old Wii U Virtual Console catalogue, which I don't quite buy.
Well, Pokemon Snap wasn't Wii U.
No, it's the Virtual Console catalogue.
Right.
Let's just go through this list because if this was the list for the NES N64 Classic Edition, I would buy one. I would have to have one, even though I own the original hardware. And there's not as many titles. 19 games in all.
Could have told me that before I was counting them. Jeez.
But I'll go.
It says 19 in the article.
I'll go through the list, right? 1080 degrees snowboarding, Bomberman 64, Donkey Kong 64, Excitebike 64, F-Zero X, Mario Golf, Mario Kart 64, Mario Party 2, Mario Tennis, Paper Mario, Pokemon Snap, Sin and Punishment, Mario 64, Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Wave Race 64, Yoshi's Story, Kirby 64, Star Fox 64.
Yeah.
What a lineup.
I think I'd probably be more interested in obviously Pokemon Snap and Zelda, but I do quite like Wave Race, but I always get bloody lost on that game.
I mean, I own a fair few of these. Well, we both between us own. We both have N64 systems. We've both gone around and basically went and collected the cartridges. We still liked the console when everyone else was ditching it for GameCubes or PS2 or 3 or whatever the next gens were at that point. Yeah, I mean, I think. I mean, there's games I don't own. You know, Mario Party 2, anything like Mario Tennis, Mario Golf is ridiculously expensive. Paper Mario.
Have you got a mortgage for that one?
Yeah, precisely. It's just goes for stupid money. I mean, the Legend of Zelda titles, Ocarina of Time was an absolute masterpiece for the system, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Wave Race, again, yeah, it was alright. I got it on cartridge. Star Fox 64, never played it. Kirby 64, would love to play it, but again, goes for silly money because it was a very late release on the system. F-Zero X is a bit like I prefer oh no, the name's gone. F-Zero X, futuristic. What's the other one? Future racing one. You kill me on. We got it on.
Oh, Wipeout.
Wipeout. Thank you.
That's a brilliant game.
Oh dear, sorry. Memory block. Wipeout. Yes. I prefer Wipeout when I remember what it's called over F-Zero, but even so, it's a good lineup. To be fair, it's a good lineup. Now, hardware-wise for this, it's very doable. They'll use the same board that's in the NES Classic Edition and SNES Classic Edition, because it's an all-winner quad-core 64-bit processor. It's more than powerful enough to do this. You think about, you can emulate these games on the Pi, and the Pi runs well with the Broadcom Pi 3 chip, which is a Broadcom quad-core. So the all-winners are sort of a cheaper Chinese version of that, really, which you get in a lot of the cheap knockoff dev boards anyway. So yeah, they'll use the same board. I don't know how they're going to interface 4 controllers with it without that being expensive. We're going to kind of like mini it down and just have the 2 controllers in the front or something. So they're going to have to compromise somewhere. You've already got a load of people doing 3D printed cases for Pis to make N64 go. But it's not quite. I mean, yeah, I own a lot of these games already. I could emulate these on Raspberry Pi. That's kind of not the point. I think this is just something I would like to own. A bit like why I like to own the NES. Despite not having any direct relation with the original.
Probably would have liked... You're probably going to shout at me. We've had the conversation. But I probably would have liked...
You're going to say Pokemon Stadium, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought you
or
were.
Pokemon Stadium 2, because that one was quite a late release as well. And I've never played that one.
No.
And like you said, that one goes for silly money too. And it's just one of those... Just because of that, I've never got the opportunity to play it.
Is this something you'd go for? It's heavily Mario orientated, but you got to admit they're good games.
Out of there's like 4 I'm interested in.
Which are those?
Well, I said, was it 3? Pokemon Snap, The Legend of Zelda ones, and Wave Race.
Okay. I mean, yeah, there's some stuff on here that I perhaps would prefer that, but it just wouldn't make. I mean, Virtual Pool wouldn't really make the system, would it?
No.
Interestingly, some of the big classics like your GoldenEye and stuff aren't on. Perfect Dark, GoldenEye aren't on here because, of course, the licenses.
Yeah.
They're now technically Microsoft property, so it's not going to happen. Is that so much a problem? No, probably not. To be fair.
No.
I mean, I think Super Mario 64 is just an absolute classic, and they could sell that'll have to be on the system. It would be a crime if it wasn't. Off the back of Mario Odyssey for the Switch, you could have a new generation of players, and then you could sell these on the basis of the first fully 3D Mario games. They could sort of almost like go back retrospectively and comparing it to what they've got now, which might bring a new audience in who didn't know the game originally. I mean, I know when I have emulated it at the Raspberry Pi Jams, and we've used Mario 64 on, and the kids, I mean, some of them thought it was a Mario Minecraft.
Right.
Seriously, and I said, no, this is generally the first 3D Super Mario game, just because it looks blocky in comparison. But yeah, it's some strange comments, but they loved it.
Yeah.
And it is a good, strong game on its own. Now, Sin and Punishment, that is the sort of the secret wildcard game. The SNES had the Star Fox 2 release. Yeah. Which had never been released originally, so it came out exclusively bundled. Sin and Punishment, I think, only came out in Japan or something. Okay. But there was a English translate done for the Wii U or online retro store. So, yeah, I know this lineup appears to be false news. People thought it was something and it wasn't. It may just be it was the Wii Virtual Console lineup. I really hope something like this is what turns up on the N64 Classic Edition Mini, because even though, as I said, I own the hardware we both do, I think this is something that I would probably have to have. It's just one of those. I mean, the NES, yes, I like to have one of those, and I was very lucky to get one. SNES, I've gone because there's not a lot. That system isn't one I can really relate to. No. And there's not really anything on it that I really want to play. And if there was anything, I can emulate it on the Pi quite cheaply. And
I think that's the problem, though, is that I'm not really interested in most of them. And like you said, that I could probably emulate it anyway. Yeah.
I mean, the only kind of issue with this is what the price tag's going to be. Let's say it's £100 or thereabouts. So, 100. Let's say it goes to like $110, £100, something like that. For that kind of money, I could buy an EverDrive cartridge, and then you can load. Now, legally, it's like, but you could then load the ROMs on and play on your original hardware. Would that be better than a fixed system? I don't know. That is the only kind of like, because you could get hold of the ROMs and you could play these on an original console for the same sort of money.
Because the NES went for 50, didn't it?
Yeah.
Then the SNES, whatever one,
went for SNS. That's something very different. SNES,
80, wasn't it?
About £80.
So, is it because of the popularity is pushing the price up?
Well, no. It's the fact is the N64 controllers will have a lot more gumph in them, analog joysticks, that kind of thing. How they're going to interface, I don't know. How you're going to miniaturise that down, I'm not sure, but it'd be interesting to see. The games. I mean, hardware, you won't really need any more RAM or any more. No. It'll be the same board. I'm sure it'll be the same board. The all-winner chip is more than enough powerful to do this. Someone, actually, when they were busy hacking the NES Classic Edition, they actually got N64 games running on it. Oh, right. It was slow, because I don't think it was optimised very well, and it was all done through a backdoor hack, so it was a bit jumpy frame rate. But I think if you had the front-end custom emulator compiled specially for the all-winner processor, it should do it, no problem at all, in all honesty. So I don't think they'll need any additional hardware to make this happen.
No.
But it's, I mean, I'm excited for a product that's not even been announced.
Yeah.
But you're like on the fence.
Yeah. I'm a bit on the fence. I don't know, I just, like you said, I can either emulate it or I've already got it.
Yeah.
So, I could just crack my Nintendo 64 out and then just do that. As opposed to going and getting a new console,
God, such a killjoy, aren't you? Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Right. Anyway, on that bombshell, we'll leave that one there. Black Friday, which is today, the day of recording.
Yes.
Now, Black Friday in the UK.
Well.
Here we go. Here we go.
Original Black Friday is in America. It's the day after Thanksgiving and marks the first day of the Christmas season. In the UK, we really don't care. Because we don't have Thanksgiving, we go from Halloween, and then for us it's just sort of then becomes
Well, I think I should point out that we personally don't care. I can't say everyone in the UK doesn't care, because obviously if those with American connections are going to celebrate it, and that's fine. We're not having a dig at Thanksgiving. No. It's just about, it's not a holiday that has any significance or meaning.
Because it comes off the back of Thanksgivings for the Americans, it does seem a thing.
But Thanksgiving is a holiday that has significance in American history and culture, but not us, here.
Because we then have Halloween,
which is again an American.
Then
I think it was brought in, but yeah.
We do have a couple of things there more based around us or whether other countries do it or not. But it's just sort of Halloween and Christmas. There's nothing in the middle. So after the Halloween, it's sort of, we're more gearing up for Christmas anyway. Yeah. We don't have to wait till the end of the month. But I suppose it also ties in as well for our paydays as well. So there's got to be an excitement there. But why has Black Friday become Friday in brackets spread over a week or 2 weeks?
Because it literally sort of came to the UK. I don't remember it until like 3 years ago.
No.
I don't think it was a thing. And then all of a sudden, Black Friday's coming. I believe it was could well have been Walmart that own a supermarket called Asda. So we don't have Walmart in the UK. No. If all the Walmarts are called Asda's here, and they run a little bit differently, but the parent company is Walmart, and they kind of, I think, bought it over to try and I think that's where it came from, and the rest of us either just sort of didn't care or couldn't be asked to go.
Well,
so I'm not going to queue up for bargains that don't. And
to be fair, we're British. We queue anyway.
It's not in our culture to do this. So we're just going.
No.
Well,
the only other problem is that beginning of the week it was Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
Then we have Black Friday. Now, this has been proven before, year upon year, even at Christmas time. Many places hike the prices up, then try to give you a deal around this time, and then when those end, the prices go back to the normal prices, which would have been a couple of quid less anyway. So sometimes this gimmick actually puts the prices up as opposed to going down, so you're not quite getting such a great
What about
deal.
Though these UK stores that went for the Black Friday and like no one showed up and it wasn't worth opening late? And that happened 2 years ago, didn't it, or something?
Yeah.
No, last year it happened somewhere.
I think about 2 years ago, I got asked we're opening up at 8 o'clock in the morning.
This is your work. Yeah.
We're opening up at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be really busy. People are wanting to go shop, shop, shop. Nobody turned up. It was absolutely dead for 2 hours in the morning. After I'd been there for about 6 hours, like, do you want to go home and not do the other? Yeah, sure, I'm going. It was dead. There was no point.
So it cost your employer more. They lost money by opening for something that just didn't happen.
No.
So, I mean, we said at the top of the show, I've been inundated with emails for this, emails for that. My spam box is just full of it. And I'm just like, I don't care.
No.
I don't feel like wanting to spend money. I mean, I've got Christmas coming up anyway, which is going to be expensive regardless of what you do. I'm not a tight ass, but I'm not rolling in cash at the moment. No. So I'm just like, I
think because they're trying to... It's one of those things that if you try to make it... For me, if you try to make it a thing, not that I don't want to know, but it's going to be pushing, shoving. Most people might be squabbling over something, or
I don't. Well,
I'm
not saying it's not going to happen.
I've had to look at some things, like in shops in passing. There isn't really anything which took my fancy. It's just a bit like, I don't want that. I don't want this, and it just, I suppose I didn't get it, or. because I'm got cards and point cards. I get these member deals only, and I'm like, yeah, but 9 times out of 10, it's the stuff you can't sell. Or a one was, now this is quite interesting.
Yeah.
I had an email saying members only. You can get this beauty box. It was an advent calendar, for makeup. It was £120. It went down to 70. Now you can get it half price for 60. And I'm like, well, was it worth 120 to begin with then?
That's the point. Well, we all know these things cost them about £5 to manufacture, and then they go for about 120 or something. The markup on them is ridiculous. Those sort of things.
So you sort of sit there and was like, well, what was the point in the first place of putting it that price? I'm still not going to get it for 60, but that's besides the point.
Absolutely. So we're not sold on this.
No.
I think is the conclusion we can make. But, oh well, same again next year.
Yes.
Anyway, we need to move on. So, coming up on the Wi-Fi Sheep YouTube channel, the subscription rate at time of recording is 147, so it's climbed up a little bit. The latest video is the second part of the Acorn Electron. I've been playing with the tape decks. One didn't work at all, and the one I thought wasn't going to work because it looked horrid worked brilliantly first time. And I'm just like, great. Coming up on the channel, Anna is doing Game Boy rebuilds.
Yes.
Which is fun. We haven't edited it yet. I've got to do that. I was looking at the footage last night, so it looked great actually. So it'd be really great to get you doing some solo content on the channel.
Yep,
and you've also found out just how long it takes to do the most simplest of things when you're trying to make it for video.
Yeah.
But it's a great... you've done 2 videos actually. One on cartridges, one on the actual Game Boys themselves. It's been a great video, so don't forget to go and subscribe to the channel so you get the updates when those videos go live. Also, we have slightly decided, or Anna decided on my behalf, that we're going to keep the video feed for this radio show open and free for now, aren't we? We're going to run the preview a bit longer. So this episode should have been locked behind a Patreon paywall. We're going to keep it open for now, but obviously we are looking for backers. We will be closing this video stream down to Patrons only at some point, and we're not quite sure we're going to do that, but it will literally be during this series. So it could be next week, next fortnight's episode. I kept saying next week or last episode. It isn't. We run every 2 weeks. It's not every week. I think every week I couldn't.
No.
Couldn't sit here and do that for that. A quick reminder, if you want to get involved, if you've got a product you'd like to for us to talk about or advertise here on Wi-Fi Sheep, or if you're interested in syndication information, if you'd like to carry the show on your broadcast platform or radio station, the best thing to do is get in touch. Email is info@ident-online.co.uk. That's info@ident-online.co.uk. We'll quickly end now on what has everybody been up to. Anna.
I rebuilt a Game Boy.
Well, we know what you done.
We did Game Boy cartridges.
Spoilers for the channel.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything else other than that?
Yes, we found out that a Nintendo 64 cartridge didn't have a battery in it.
Oh, this was good.
Yes.
This was good. Do you want to explain what happened then?
So we had
this. We were okay. Right. We were recording.
Yeah, we were we were recording, and what we looked up, Zelda's, Pokemon games, they all have a 2025 button cell battery in them.
To save.
Yeah, to save the data. You can watch people. I watched some where people are replacing the 1080 snowboarding. I think it was Ocarina of Time. So I ordered these batteries.
RAM battery backup, basically. Yeah.
So we had this game, Virtual Pool,
and we've got it all set up. Lights are all on. We're actually recording.
Virtual Pool. It decided to stop saving and kept wiping the game. So we're like, the battery needs to be changed, basically.
Yeah.
Ordered these batteries. We literally, in the camera, get all the bits for it, pull it apart to find out it hasn't got a battery.
Yeah.
We sat there for a few moments.
I was like, what? Hang on. Should it have a battery? Is something missing? No, it was saving. So
yeah, it was saving. So then we thought, well,
do you know what I generally thought? I thought, has the battery dropped out?
That's what I thought. I started
like a sealed cartridge. You're like,
And then I thought, well, opening it has the battery falling out on the floor. So we had this moment where we started looking. It was like, there isn't a battery. Why is this game not got a battery? So we were like, right, okay. We're going to then have a look on Google to find out, can we find out why this game hasn't got a battery? We found out it had a PIC.
Well, I think it's a PIC chip.
Yeah.
Which is a small microprocessor chip that you can actually sort of flash data to. So it's probably doing a ROM-RAM save, which you can do that to hold a small amount of machine code data that then can be... PIC chips can technically be used as processors in the right... Instead of having a microprocessor, you could have a PIC chip that runs a piece of code, outputs in a certain way. I think that was what was on board, but it looked like a custom blooming chip to Nintendo. Nintendo's love of custom components, it didn't match any of the PIC chips I had in stock.
Nope.
So we're a little bit stumped as to what to do now.
Yes. We're going to do a video. No, we should do a video recreating it all again and go, we can't fix it, and then it's the end of the video.
Well, why did we have to recreate it? We shot half the footage and then had to stop. But it was like, we can't do this. It isn't what we thought was inside, which is hilarious. So, yeah. That's an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, anyone got any suggestions on that? Again, get in touch. Best way is probably drop us a personal tweet at TomW_ident or at SapphireWolf16. Help, basically.
As long as the personal tweet isn't
If it is ha-ha or abusive, send it to her. She likes those sort of things. All right, I generally think we're going to have to leave it there for this decision. So, for this edition, rather. So, oh dear. Anna, once again, thank you so much for your words of wisdom and general entertainment on the show. Again, if you want to get in touch with us, best way to do is to go to ident-online.co.uk/Wi-Fi sheep. For advertising or syndication information, the email address is info@ident-online.co.uk. Don't forget for us to drop us a subscription or a pledge on Patreon. We really do need the backers. Helps fund this.
Yeah.
Light bulbs are expensive. What can I say? We seem to be needing more lights in here and stuff all the time.
Especially this time of year.
This time of year, it gets dark about 3 in the afternoon, isn't it?
Wow, it's currently 3:30, so I think we're dragging it out.
We're dragging it out, but the sun is like low in the sky over there, so it's...
I saw the seagulls.
Like, yeah, that's the end of that.
How far in lights?
Seagulls in the Midlands, yeah. Don't ask me how that works. Anyway, from me, Tom Williamson.
And me, Anna Fellows.
Thank you so much for watching and listening to us here. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. This has been the Wi-Fi Sheep Radio Show. Bye for now.